Hey, what's going on, guys? If you have ever wondered, should I work with someone? Should I go to therapy? Should I hire a coach? Should I go to couples therapy or do it solo? What's the experience like? What is inner work and what is up with emotions? This video is for you. I'm going to be going over the hesitations of why men typically don't want to go to therapy, some of the problems with therapy that I see. I'm going to be speaking of my experience. So I really hope that you're able to get some benefit out of this video, whether you go and work with someone or not. The goal is for you to gain some inner understanding of what inner work is. So first and foremost, why do men typically not want to go to therapy? One, it can feel like we're in trouble, like we're going to the principal's office and we've done something wrong, and that's just not a great experience. It can be off-putting. The other thing that I see is that most men don't trust the therapist. They don't trust them for a couple reasons. They might think that they're on the woman's side. They might think that the person's trying to fix them, which isn't a good feeling. Like, we don't want to feel like we're being fixed or that there's something wrong with us, and there isn't something wrong with you. That should not be the dynamic with therapy, and I think a lot of times it's like that. The next one is probably the most that I've seen. A man does not want to go to therapy and work with someone that hasn't gone to the depth that the therapist is asking them to go. So if a man has been through really hard times in his life, he typically wants to work with someone who's been through similar hard times. Have you hiked the mountain that I'm trying to hike? And so who you work with is first and foremost going to make or break your experience with coaching, with therapy, anything like that. And this was my experience. So when I was in my early 30s, I was going through a divorce. I had two daughters. When I was younger, my parents got divorced. I had a lot to unpack from my childhood, and I didn't want to just go vent to somebody about it. I did not want to just share my experience, and I didn't understand how that would even help me. So this is another reason why men don't want to go to therapy. It's like, I don't want some big vent session. I want to know tools. I want to be challenged. I want to know exactly logically. I want to understand what's going on inside of me. Don't just, use some Jedi mind tricks on me. So most men want to understand the process, like what is happening. And this is a lot of reason why therapy isn't working for men, and men are going to hiring coaches who have gone through similar things. So I'm a relationship coach, and I help men who are going through divorces, breakups, recover from them, or try to remend and build connection in their relationships with their partners, with their kids, with their family. And I learned this the hard way. I went through the experience. I traveled. I went the wrong ways, made the mistakes, and now I help men hopefully avoid some of the same mistakes that I made and build a healthy connection. So here's what to expect when you go into work with someone when you're doing inner work. The goal is to get out of your head and integrate some of the experiences from your life. Most men don't talk about their experiences. They don't really sit down and talk about, and if they do, it's kind of like we're showing our battle scars or our battle wounds like an ego. Like, look at how hard my life is. Look at what I've overcome. And we don't really validate or get out the emotional pain. We don't share the pain of it. We share that we are strong enough to overcome it. And that's great. I'm so proud of you for overcoming what you've been through, but I'm going to give it to you straight. Unless you validate the pain, then you are probably carrying it. Unless you validate the pain that you've gone through, you're probably carrying it. And how does that show up? It shows up in the way you treat the people around you. It shows up in your anger. It shows up in your frustration. It shows up in your triggers. It shows up in your hot-headedness and lack of patience. And eventually it wears you down, and it wears everyone around you down. So if you are a man who is carrying all that, it might be time to go get help. And when you go get help, find someone that you trust, that you can really bear the darkest, deepest secrets that you are carrying inside of yourself. If you can't trust them, if you can't offload that, what is the freaking point? What's the point? There's no point. Don't hire a coach. Don't go to therapy if you're not willing to admit the things that you're carrying deep down, if you're not willing to access those deeper parts of yourself. So go in prepared to open up. Don't go and then try to box with them and guard, and then maybe they eventually crack you. Find someone you really trust, like you can really look eye to eye with, really trust, and is like, I'm going to let this person see me. That's the best way to get the most out of therapy. If you can open up, you're going to get more out of it. So the tips that I have for you when going to work with someone is find someone you can trust and be prepared to open up. I would actually say, like in my case, the men that I work with, they do not care that I am not a licensed therapist. They care that I've been through a divorce when I was a kid, and I've been through one as an adult, and I've faced those hard challenges. And they care that I can feel the pain that they feel, and so they feel safe with me to actually open up to me. And then more inner work is done. So what is the inner work? The inner work is you feeling those deep, dark emotions in the presence of someone else. And like I said, I'm going to give you some tips for maybe you don't need to do this work with someone else. Maybe you can do some of it on your own. If you're really stubborn, you're like, I'm not going to spend the money. I don't want to waste the time. I'm going to do this in my journal in the evening. It can be done, but you're going to get a lot more if you hire someone to work with, because they can guide you and then you can gain the tools that they've gained. So like I always have a coach that I work with even still that's coaching me on, my issues, being a mirror for me and challenging me in ways that maybe I don't want to be challenged. So working with a coach is you're going to get the most out of it. It's like if you were going to go try to be a professional athlete, you want a coach, right? If you want the best, most powerful relationships around you, if you want to have the best relationship with your partner and the best relationship with your kids, a coach is going to help you get there. But if you want to try to do this work alone, go for it. By all means, open a journal and try to get yourself to remember some of your past experiences. What most men do is we go through the roadblock. We break through these really difficult barriers of, our parents' divorce, or maybe sexual abuse, or some kind of traumatic events when we're younger, and we just carry them and we never really look back and integrate. And so when we look back to integrate, we have to validate the pain that we were in at that time. Like, what if you break through that wall? Congratulations that you broke through that wall, but did it break your leg? You got to heal the leg. Did it break your shoulder? Did you break your clavicle? You got to heal these wounds that have been caused by breaking through these walls. So I'm really proud of how far you've come in your life. But if you can also validate the experience a little bit, and I'm not saying be a victim. You don't want to stay victim mode, but just for us, there is a certain level of validation. So it's a different thing when we're talking about validating the experience and the wounds versus being a victim, staying stuck in victimhood. You don't want to stay stuck in victimhood, but if you don't validate, you will carry the pain forever. And this is what happens with most men when they go through a breakup and they try to rebound, and they just rebound and rebound and rebound. They're just trying to get through the experience. They don't want to stop and grieve the relationship. They don't want to stop and grieve the pain they're in. And I learned this the hard way. Facing your pain is what the goal is here. You got to face the pain. Whether you want to do it alone or with someone else is your choice, but you got to face the pain that you've carried for so long. And one of the biggest mistakes I've seen men make is they compare their pain to others. Like, I didn't have it as bad as someone else. So we tend to diminish our own pain and our own experience because we didn't have it so bad. When it comes to your own individual healing, comparison is going to do you no good. So if you're trying to better your life, then comparison's not going to help you. And that brings me to the overall goal of what therapy or coaching or doing inner work is about. It is about breaking your patterns, the self-sabotage patterns that you have in your life, your relationship patterns, your attachment wounds, your jealousy, anything that is hindering your ability to have healthy connections in your life with people that you love. If you aren't willing to do the work to break your patterns, then you'll always have the same relationship as results. I'm going to say that again. If you aren't willing to do the work to break your patterns, you're always going to have the same relationship results. So either do the work in your journal, do the work with someone, it doesn't matter, but what does matter is that you do the work. And if you have the means and have the time and can dedicate some time to doing the work in the presence of someone else, then you will succeed. You will break your patterns. You will get the healthy relationships that you deserve and that you want. It's not about comparing to other people's pain. It's about healing your own wounds so that you're not hobbling around. And believe me, for a long time, I was hobbling around in relationships. And it caused me to end up going through a divorce with kids. It hurt my kids. Now my kids live in 2 separate homes half the time, and it's very difficult, but the healing can take place. I'm remarried now, and I've been able to develop a healthy relationship with my wife. We're both relationship coaches because we've done the work to heal our own pain and get to a place where we can actually connect in a healthy way. And if you're interested in more, please check out my channel, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and found it valuable. You can check out our podcast at All of You Podcasts, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.